You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Williams. On take 3, my toddler is definitely in the vibes with Mars and Leo, getting ready to go back to Leo. She's feeling that thing firsthand. So if she interrupts, we're just going to roll with it. So just want to wish everyone a happy Monday. How did you weather the full moon in Libra this past Saturday? I know for me, there were lots of realizations and revelations about the way I show up in relationships. And I can even see some of that energy lingering into this week with the moon being in Scorpio today. That could bring us into moments of introspection and self-investigation, thinking about deep-seated emotions and lingering resentments, just really tapping in and digging deep into what's brewing beneath in the dark waters of Scorpio. So perhaps we had a conversation last week with that Libra full moon because it was all about values and relationships and stuff like that and balance and all the things. And maybe the conversation got a little heated. So we could be asking ourselves, did I do too much in that conversation? Did I go too far? Did I not think something through? Really taking a responsibility in that Scorpio energy, but also there could be some brooding and resentments over not saying enough. Did I not say enough? Did I not do enough? Maybe I should have said this because this person kind of had me messed up. That's another part of Scorpio energy, that feeling of needing to get somebody back in some kind of way. So you just want to be mindful of those emotions and energies coming into the week. Then Tuesday, April 16th, Mercury re-enters into the sign of Aries. It was previously retrograde in the sign of Pisces, a lot of non-linear thinking and things feeling jumbled up and confused. But now we could be feeling some forward movement. We could feel some increased energy, some fast thoughts, some clearer thoughts, and really wanting to put thoughts into action. Mercury is our planet of communication and thoughts, how we process information and what we think about. And Mercury is a very neutral kind of planet. It tends to take on the energy of whatever sign it's in. So right now he's on whatever Aries is on. And if we know Aries or that Aries energy, that is a very fiery, competitive, playful, fun energy, fast moving, wants to be on the go, but also can be a little aggressive, combative, competitive, and very impatient at times. So we could feel more courageous this week to initiate something, to get something started, to take care of some things. But also there could be more arguments and road rage and accidents when Mercury is in Aries. So we really want to be careful of moving too fast, being impatient in traffic, or even walking in the mall, don't elbow nobody. We could hear things faster than we are able to process this week, hearing the wrong things, and we could end up saying something offensive or rude before we even had a chance to think about it. We are just letting that AK-47 just spew out of our mouths. So that could lead to some unnecessary conflict, to fights. That could also lead to road rage situations. So we just really want to be careful and mindful of our thoughts and actions and behaviors and tempers and all the things. And then on the 17th of April, that Thursday, Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. So we're already going through some things with Neptune being in Aries. That could look like a lot of delusions of grandeur and people in power just really going overboard, acting like they the lord of all dominion and shit like that. So we already got those issues. But now with Mercury being conjunct Neptune, this could be something that we are hearing in the media, something that sounds crazy, something that's like, what? It's not going to go unnoticed. It might be shocking, or adding, spark to the fire with Neptune and Aries conjunct Mercury and Aries. Also, there could be, personally for us, things could feel like they're moving forward and we could feel very creative and get these creative sparks and downloads and new understandings and fresh new ideas that we didn't even think about. An uptake in creativity that could lead to new plans and new opportunities. We can also see in our personal lives hearing things the wrong way this week. We could hear things in our minds in one way, but it was meant to be taken in another way. And that could happen with people misunderstanding our words as well. well. So we just want to take extra care and really think things through and try to be as clear as possible when we're trying to communicate this week. We want to fact check information personally and online or in the news. There are things that are going to be spoken about this week that are going to sound unreal, and they probably will be unreal. We also want to be careful of being overpromised and underdelivered to, as well as overpromising and underdelivering to someone else. And just be careful speaking on something too quickly, saying something before thinking, because that could cause some unnecessary rifts. And we ain't trying to burn no bridges because we're on our way up. On Friday, April 18th, Mars is finally re-entering the sign of Leo. So Mars was in Leo back at, late November, early December. We already know what's going on around that time. Publicly, that was the time of the election. We were hearing about old boy going into office, and everybody's like, what? Or some people was like, yay, all the things. And also think about what was happening for us personally when Mars was in Leo. What kind of energies were we going up against? What kind of power dynamics? What kind of projects did we have lined up that we, needed to put a pause on? If you have been a listener since back then, I was saying over and over, don't do anything new, don't do anything new, because we were in a major review of our motivations and the reasons why we take action on some of the things we take action on. And now that we've been through this big cathartic process, we've been through layers and layers and still going through layers of doing things for the right reasons. We are re-entering the sign of Leo with Mars, putting fire on fire. Mars is our will and how we assert ourselves, and it is the ruler of Aries. So it is going to be working with Aries energy very intently. And I mean, this is very good for forward movement and taking the lead on something, being courageous and really starting that thing that you wanted to start, putting yourselves out there, getting back into the spotlight, taking the initiative, coming out of the shadows. So that's bringing a lot of big courage, big confidence. But also on that shadow side of, with Leo comes big ego and aggression, stepping over people even unintentionally to get our way. And Mars is Mars. So it is here to be competitive and combative, to assert itself and get its way. So there can be some power struggles and several entities fighting for the throne. So we want to once again be mindful of any type of ego spars or arguments. If we're in a collaboration or a partnership, we could see these dynamics of we wanting to put our ideas out there and somebody else want to put theirs. And then there's this clash that can escalate into an even bigger altercation and in our endeavors in our partnerships or relationships. But on the bright side, this transit is going to give us the courage to put ourselves back into the spotlight, to go back out there and get it, giving us that swag back. We're not in Cancer anymore with Mars, which can be a very brooding type of energy. And we're thinking about how our parents or lineage hurt us in some kind of way. We're going to be moving out of that energy and saying, okay, I'm ready to get back out there and take the lead on something. And just feeling really passionate to get things done. And so on April 19th, that Saturday, the sun will enter the sign of Taurus. Happy birthday to the Tauruses out there. And wherever you have Taurus in your chart, you're going to be experiencing some new energy, some type of revamp, and just maybe a new idea about something, and just new reflections and revelations about something, shedding light on something. So at about 1:55 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have the sun enter the sign of Taurus. This is a time where we're going to want to take whatever we initiated in Aries season and attempt to stabilize it. During Taurus season, we are going to experience a change of pace. We will desire to feel more stable and grounded and connected to earth and things that are practical and simple. We're going to want to pace ourselves, walk in our gardens, get back in the trees, frolic, eat good food. We're going to want to tend to our creature comforts. Some of us, me especially, is going to want to propagate plants and maybe buy new plants and repot and things like that. And just finding practical ways to feel grounded and to feel happy. And also practical, simple, efficient ways to grow our resources. We could be thinking about our money a little bit more when the sun is in Taurus, and just being really concerned with establishing solid foundations for ourselves and our families and the people we take care of. So with this change of pace, we will feel a need to slow down because going too fast in Taurus season can feel overwhelming to our nervous systems, which will cause us to stop and root ourselves and plant ourselves in the dirt. And that is what the Taurus usually does when it feels rushed or forced into something. When things are moving faster than Taurus feels comfortable with. Many people think it's because Taurus are lazy and they don't want to do stuff, which sometimes that energy is true. Sometimes Tauruses can be very fixated and complacent, but more often, a Taurus is a very skilled, excellent builder in life. They're here to sustain things. So that Taurus energy will place us into a free cycle to preserve energy so that we can bring ourselves back into a sense of stability and security. And so this is the time where we can feel inclined to work with our senses and really feel our ways into the next step instead of having instead of just having a thought and just jumping on it. We're gonna, want to sit with it and contemplate and ponder and wonder if this is the most efficient way to do something, building something stable in the material world. Taurus energy wants us to nurture and protect our goals and just to really build something on a solid foundation. Then Sunday, Easter Sunday, April 20th, we have a few transits happening that day. The first one I want to talk about is Venus in Pisces, sextiling Uranus that is in Taurus right now, and how magical the ruler of Taurus, being Venus, is in her exaltation in the sign of Pisces, and she's in a supportive conversation with Uranus and Taurus. This could be creative ideas and downloads and new collaborations and just connecting with people that spark some type of creativity or the next piece just landing in our lap, and new collaborations, new creative ideas, new friends, and or we could meet someone who is connected to an amazing opportunity. And I just feel like this is exciting and just a really beautiful start to Taurus season. On the same day, we also have Mercury in Aries sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. So this could look like a deep, profound conversation or receiving some type of deep message, some type of information. I always see something deep and profound on Instagram that really lands in my spirit right when I need it. And so that could be what this is as well. This could also be some kind of hard conversation that happens this week, or maybe it happened last week, that leads to some kind of cathartic release or clears the air because something has finally been said that somebody's been holding in for a while. And after the hard part is said and the air is cleared, there's this opportunity to build a closer connection to this person. And then finally, on April 20th, the sun in Taurus squares Mars in Leo. So this is double-edged sword right here. Very powerful transit, really helping get things going. Two powerhouses. This could be collaboration. This could even be two powerful parts of your own chart that are in some kind of tension, but sometimes tension creates a very good situation. So this could be two forces helping to put something into action, but also Leo and Taurus are two fixed signs, two very powerful signs, and two very stubborn forces. So this can be a bumping of heads, a serious power struggle. Power dynamics could be on the table. Leo wants something done one way. He wants it when he wants it. And Taurus is an energy that will not be forced, will not be pressured, will not be rushed into a decision if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't align with Taurus's values, if it isn't feasible, if it isn't something that's sustainable. Taurus is not going to sign off on that. And she will plant her feet deep in the ground of Mother Earth. She is not going to move when she feels forced to move and she's not ready. So, we can see some sort of stalemate. And like I said, this could be two energies. This could be in the media. This could be between two partners, business. This could be two parts of ourselves, something in relationships. Not to mention that Mars in Leo is building up into this big opposition once again with Pluto in Aquarius. That's going to happen next week. That is going to be a big deal, whether it's on the world stage, whether it is personal. You're going to feel this energy, this opposition that's happening. Both of these energies are currently squaring that sun in Taurus. And that Sun and Taurus rules that Mars and Leo energy because it's the Sun and the Sun rules the Leo energy. So we're going to be contending with something very opposing. So on one hand, there could be the Leo parts of us wanting to get results, wanting to do something big, wanting to do something grand, and really not thinking about other parameters other than to get the goal, to win, to get the results. And that Pluto and Aquarius energy is coming to be very transformative. It is concerned with other people, it is concerned with the collective, it is wanting us to be in authenticity, and it wants us to liberate ourselves, to not try to fit into a lane, but to create our own lane. And with both of those energies squaring the Sun in Taurus right now, Taurus is also asking us to consider our values and our integrity and our resources. And whatever we're doing, just wanting to make sure it is being built on a solid foundation to last and to sustain us in the long run. So, yep, lots of little big deals this week. And I just want to give you a quick recap. The energy this week is productive, it's creative, it's passionate, it's also combative. So we want to think before we act or speak. Beware of moving too fast. Beware of power struggles with people who we love and adore, and also people we don't like, but we don't want to really burn any bridges because we're on our way up. Things are moving forward. So we just really want to not let our tempers get in the way. Don't believe everything you hear this week. If it sounds unreal, too good to be true, probably is, or you just want to, make sure before you try to sign any contract or anything that you are really looking at the fine print and just, feeling your way into something. You want to lean into those creative downloads, though, and those dreams, and expect forward movement, expect good things to happen, collab well, meet those new people, and be inspired, but also watch for ego trips and heated disagreements. And build on your goals this week. Build your goals, build your empire, but build it on a foundation of courage, authenticity, and integrity so that something amazing can thrive in the long run. That is all I have for this week. Next week, we'll be talking about some really big energy. So make sure you tune in and come to the party. Talk to you later. Bye. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.